Hello and welcome back. Okay, vocabulary again from the last class. I want to continue. In the last class on the fourth segment, this one, I was talking about some vocabulary words. Descuidado, careless. Ajedrez, chess. Sentido común, common sense. Previsión, forecast. Escrito forecast. Forecast, cifras, figures, o en inglés británico, figures. Y la moral, the morale. Pero voy a continuar. Okay, so I'm going to continue, but I'm going to go back and read all of the words again and then go back. La moral, the morale. La moral está por los suelos. The morale is very low in this company. Al contrario, es muy alta. It's very high. On the contrary. Okay? It's not low. Pacífico, peaceful. Es un país pacífico. This is a peaceful country. Okay? Esa provincia es muy pacífica. It's very peaceful. Veneno, poison. Aplazamiento, postponement. Procedimiento, procedure. Procedure. Referente a, regarding. Regarding that problem. Regarding this problem. Regarding the English language. Regarding the Spanish language. Regarding the current economic situation. Regarding the current political situation in Albania, regarding the problems in Iraq, etc. Con referencia a o concerniente a, referente a. There are many ways in Spanish and many ways in English. En cuanto a los problemas de Albania, en cuanto a, regarding, concerning, with regard to, etc. Todos valen. The best is to choose one and to keep it. A mí me gusta regarding or concerning, porque no hace falta añadir ninguna preposición más. Regarding your English. Con respecto a tu inglés. Yo opino que, regarding your English, my opinion is that you should study more. Now, regarding my English, that's not the case. English is my mother tongue, so I really don't need to study it. Although I do. I always think of ways to express myself better, even in my own language. Regarding. Inquieto, restless. Okay, restless. Teenagers are restless. Mentally and physically, emotionally restless. It's a difficult period. Transition, hormonal changes take place, and you become more restless. Rest is descanso. Así que uno pensaría que restless sería sin descanso. Y sí hay una conexión. Una persona súper inquieta es una persona que no descansa nunca porque siempre está haciendo cosas. A restless person. Some people are hyperactive. Some children are hyperactive. And as they grow up, if they can channel their hyperactivity in constructive ways, they can achieve a lot. One problem with hyperactive children is that some mothers and fathers, some parents, think the child has a problem. The child is very hyperactive, and sometimes some doctors prescribe medication to control the child and to make the child less hyperactive. In my opinion, it's a mistake. It's just a question of channeling that child's hyperactivity. Many of the great leaders today, many of the great builders, cuando digo constructor, no digo construcción con ladrillos necesariamente, constructores de sueños, constructores de iniciativas. Many great builders today were hyperactive children. Okay? So, here we have inquieto, restless. Un niño siempre es inquieto, siempre está diciendo, mamá says, estate quieto, be still, sit still. Don't be so restless. Restless. Muy corriente. Okay? Restless. All right, salado, salty. Oof, these potatoes are very salty. Salty. Dominar, to dominate. Yeah. Llegar a dominar is to master. Es un proceso. El verbo to master es un proceso. Mi objetivo es llegar a dominar el francés. My objective is to master French. Okay, to master French. Okay, now to dominate is ejercer un dominio sobre algo o alguien. To dominate a person. Strong people normally dominate weak people. Weak people don't dominate strong people. On a scale of 1 to 10, a person with strength 8 dominates a person with strength 5. And a person with strength 5 dominates a person with strength 2. Okay? Now, if you have a friend who is strength 2, tiene fuerza o fortaleza de grado 2 sobre 10, which is very weak. And if you want to help this person, and you are a person of strength 9, you can't help that person very much, actively, directly. If you want to strengthen, fortalecer, if you want to move a person of strength 2 to strength 3 or 4, to improve the person, there's only one way. Put that person with a person who is strength 1, weaker, and this person will assume the dominant position and will begin to act more decisively and more resolutely. And that person will gain more self-confidence and finally move up, perhaps, to strength 3 or to strength 4. Very interesting to study how to make people strong. It's not easy, but there are ways. All right, hacer cumplir, to enforce. Vamos a hacer cumplir la ley en este país. We are going to enforce the law. I'm a policeman, and my job is to enforce the law. I am a law enforcement officer, and I attended the Law Enforcement Academy, the Police Academy, Academia de Policía, the Police Academy, to learn law enforcement. In fact, I have a friend who studied law enforcement. Law enforcement es una carrera universitaria en Estados Unidos. It's a degree, a major. It's a degree in the United States, law enforcement. You can go to the United States and you can go to the university and you can study to be a law enforcement expert. When you watch these television programs, CSI, CSI, CSI in Miami, CSI in Las Vegas, CSI in New York, these people, these forensic experts, most of them studied law enforcement at the university, and they went directly into forensic work and to detective work. Yes, except the pathologist who's working as the coroner, all right? So, law enforcement. Law enforcement. Would you like to be a law enforcement officer, which means a policeman? Okay. So, we'll come back to that. Hacer cumplir la ley is to enforce. Se escribe enforce. And you know, I remember when I came to Spain, I asked my good friend Nacho, I said, Nacho, ¿se dice enforzar la ley aquí? And he said, ¿cómo? Yeah, enforzar la ley. No, ¿qué significa eso? Well, to enforce the law. You know, a policeman's job is to enforce the law. I said, no. He said, I don't know, hacer cumplir, hacer que se cumpla. And I said, ¿qué forma más indirecta de decir enforce? To enforce the law is a very direct, resolute, decisive verb. And here you say to make others obey the law. Cumplir la ley, we say obedecer la ley, to obey the law. My job is to obey the law. A policeman's job is to enforce the law. The people in Parliament, their job is to pass laws. And the judicial system, the judges in the courts, their job is to interpret the laws. And if they think a law is unconstitutional or not legal, they throw it out. Okay? So, the law. Hacer cumplir la ley. All right? El cumplimiento de la ley. And the criminal's job, apparently, por lo visto, is to break the law. Quebrar la ley, aquí solo es decir incumplir la ley. Okay? To break the law is much more expressive for me than not to comply with the law. Okay. To comply with the law no se dice. Comply es cumplir con. En cumplimiento con el artículo número 3 de la disposición número 7. Okay. In compliance with. Eso parece muy burocrático. To comply. Now to obey. If the speed limit says 100 kilometers per hour, you obey the speed limit. At least you're supposed to. Okay, you're supposed to. Okay, rellenar un impreso, to fill out a form, or to fill in a form. Apañarse, salir del paso, to get by. Uy, Salí del paso. Sí, sé suficiente para salir del paso en los exámenes, pero no con nota alta, pero siempre salgo del paso. I always get by. I always get by. Y me puedo apañar en París con mi francés. I can get by. I can get by with my friends. Me las arreglo. I get by. I get by or I can get by. Dudar, to hesitate. Si tienes cualquier pregunta sobre este programa, no dudes en escribir. If you have any question about this show, don't hesitate. Come on, don't hesitate to write an email and saying, Dear Richard, I like your program very much, but could you please speak a little more slowly? Could you please slow down? When you're talking, you tend to speed up. Tiendes a acelerar. You tend to speed up, and then I can't understand you. And you're talking about relevant vocabulary that's very interesting and very important, and I can't understand you. So please, okay, slow down. That's an email. So if you want to send me an email, don't hesitate. Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to write to me, okay? No duden en ponerse en contacto con nosotros si tiene cualquier queja. If you have any complaint or any suggestion, any constructive criticism, no quiero crítica destructiva, eso no ayuda a nadie. Destructive criticism, no, but constructive criticism, yes. If you have a complaint, a suggestion, a recommendation, constructive criticism, no dude en ponerse en contacto con nosotros. Don't hesitate. Se escribe hesitate con H aspirado al principio. Hesitate. Hesitate. Don't hesitate to contact us. Okay? Don't hesitate is no dudar. No se dice aquí don't doubt. Doubt es dudar porque no crees. Si no crees, y si yo os digo que mido, porque siempre me veis sentado, you always see me sitting. I am 2 meters 29 centimeters tall. I'm taller than Pau Gasol. I'm taller than anybody in this country. 2.29 mido yo. Do you believe me? Or you doubt? Do you doubt that I'm telling the truth? So to doubt es dudar en el sentido de no creer del todo. O sea, viste un ovni. ¿Sí? Wow. Permite que dude. Let me doubt. That's correct. Dudar, to doubt is dudar en el sentido de no creer o no creer del todo. Now, to hesitate es dudar en el sentido de quedar un poco corto por reparos o por reticencia. Okay? Anda, no, vamos, no dudes. No vaciles también. Okay, vacilar is also used for hesitate, but vacilar has a second meaning, which is more common. All right, dudar is to hesitate. Aflojar is to loosen. To loosen this. A tie. To tighten, to loosen. To loosen. I can unbutton the cuffs of my shirt, and I can loosen, the sleeve. Now it's more comfortable. To loosen. The opposite of to tighten. Flojo, loose. Prieto o apretado, tight. Aflojar, loosen. En añadido aquí. Loosen, apretar, tighten. Okay, so loosen. Malentendido. Misunderstanding. Ha habido un malentendido aquí. There has been a misunderstanding here. No me malentiendas. Don't misunderstand me. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that your English is bad. I'm simply telling you that it needs to improve. Don't get upset with me. I think there has been a misunderstanding. I was not criticizing your English. I was criticizing your effort. Okay? Your English is deficient. I know that. Otherwise, you shouldn't be watching me. If your English were sufficient, you don't need to watch this television channel. So, and I wasn't telling you that your English was bad. I was saying that your effort needs to be greater. I think there has been, creo que ha habido un malentendido aquí. I think there's been a misunderstanding. I think there's been. Yo hago la contracción de there has. No, there is. There has been. Ha habido es la forma. En inglés, there has been. I think there has been a misunderstanding. Todo junto, misunderstanding. Y con la contracción, I think there's been a misunderstanding. I didn't say that. I didn't say your English was bad. I said your English would continue bad if you don't make an effort. Okay? So, don't get me wrong. Don't misunderstand me. All right? It's very easy to create a misunderstanding. I have a radio show. Every morning I'm on the radio. And sometimes, not very often, but maybe once every 4 months, once every 5 months, I receive an email from somebody who is upset, or somebody who is irritated, somebody who's angry, disgustado, irritado, enfadado, somebody who is hurt, dolido. And they say, and it's clear from the email, that the person misunderstood me. Okay? That the person misunderstood me. Okay? Maybe I said, I don't believe in equality. No creo en la igualdad. All right? And I continued talking, but the person's English was not good enough to understand the nuances. Nuances, escrito. Nuances son los matices de lo que yo decía en inglés. And they misunderstand me. And they get angry. What do you mean people are not created? I said, look, excuse me, I was not saying. I said people are created equal, but that in life things become less equal. Okay? Don't misunderstand me. All men are created equal. That's a debatable question too. But don't misunderstand me. Maybe I will agree with your side of the debate. Misunderstand, malentender. Okay? Y un malentendido, a misunderstanding. Tirar la basura, to throw away. No necesitas ese block. Throw it away. Come on. That notepad, that notebook you have, yeah, the one you're holding in your hand, like this one, and that pen, keep the pen, but that little notepad, throw it away, please. You don't need it. I don't want you to use it here. No, throw it away. Tíralo. A la basura, a la papelera, throw it away. Into the waste paper basket, into the bin, because you don't need it. Okay? A notebook is un cuaderno de anillas o cuaderno de espiral. It's a notebook para apuntes. A notepad, PAD, es un bloc muy pequeño, de bolsillo casi, un notepad, all right? Un bloc de notas. A notepad. And you don't need it. If you write down everything I'm telling you, every word I explain, it could be counterproductive because you're fixing your attention on vocabulary and certain structures theoretically. And you're writing them down and you're saying, ay, qué bonito. 8 palabras nuevas hoy. Okay? No, I don't want you to do that. I want you to relax and simply to watch me and listen to me and absorb the flow of language. That's more important because vocabulary is not going to give you English. The most important thing is to understand. And 95 or 98% of the new vocabulary you can learn with me is not very important for understanding. Because if you don't know the word, most of you, la mayoría de vosotros, most of you have an intermediate level, which means your vocabulary probably, passive and active vocabulary is probably about 2,000 or 3,000 words in English. A lot. More than you think. And if you continue writing down words, qué interesante, la palabra veneno is poison. La moral, morale con E al final. And you write these words down. It's interesting, but my objective here is not to teach you vocabulary. My objective in this class is to speak English. And these words are pretextos. These words are pretext. These words are important, por supuesto. Of course, these words are important. But they are much less important que las 7 palabras que acabo de decir. They are much less important. Las palabras, la expresión, they are much less important. They are much less. They are much less. Esas 4 palabras son 1000 veces más importantes que la palabra moral. Okay? Y la forma en que los nativos decimos esas palabras tan de cada hora de nuestra habla, si no lo cazas con el oído, no vas a entender inglés. 90% of everything we say, 90% of every word that comes out of a native mouth in English and in Spanish can be found in Book 1 and Book 2 for beginners and low intermediate. 90% of the relevant language you need to use is there. And probably you already know, theoretically or passively, more than enough to speak well. Okay? So don't spend your time writing new vocabulary that you will need to use 3 times a year. Okay? Spend your time listening, opening your ear to the very essential elements of the language that I'm using all the time. You understand me. You understand me when I speak. And you say, qué gozada, Richard. Te entiendo cuando hablas. Es una maravilla. Okay? Claro. You understand me because I'm using very simple English, normally. Very easy English. Y sin embargo, también me vais a decir que me expreso muy bien, con elocuencia y con cierto impacto. Pues ves, I can speak to you with certain eloquence and a certain impact using words that you already know. So, you already know enough English para rezar si quieres. But you can't because you think you don't know English well. And you don't have the self-confidence, la confianza propia, el nivel de decisión. You don't have the self-confidence to speak. And the most important element to develop self-confidence is understanding perfectly. Okay, lo he dicho muchas veces, pero si saco de la manga, if I take out of my sleeve una pastilla, a pill, and I give it to you, and I say, take it. And you take it. And it gives you perfect, I understand English perfectly now. Your spoken ability in a question of 1 month will be fluent with a big vocabulary or a small vocabulary. Vocabulary is not important, and vocabulary can be learned quickly. You can expand your vocabulary quickly studying vocabulary, but you can't learn to understand quickly. You must expose your ear to the language. And let me repeat, 80 or 90% of everything I say in front of you and with my friends and with my family in English is contained in Book 1 and Book 2 for the beginners and the low intermediate people. Okay, I'm never going to finish this list. My God. Había llegado a tirar la basura. I'm going to come back again tomorrow or next Monday. I'm going to come back in the next class and to continue with this. But I'm telling you, ese bloque que estáis apuntando, todas estas palabras tan bonitas, okay? It's okay. But it's intellectually stimulating to learn new words. Ay, he aprendido 8 palabras nuevas hoy. But it's not important. The important thing is to keep your ear close to the language, to gain the relaxed ability. Lo llamo la habilidad relajada, que es la habilidad sin tensarse o angustiarse ante la acción de escuchar y entender. Okay? Hay que relajarse. And the only way is put down the notepad. Put down your pen. Put down your pen. And simply watch the program and enjoy it. Enjoy it. And try to watch this program and perhaps other programs on Aprende Inglés Tuve every day. A little or a lot, dependiendo de, según el tiempo que dispongas, depending on the time you have available. If you have time, surf the web, read the newspaper with this television, Aprende Inglés TV, in the background. It's very, very helpful. Okay, I will finish this, I hope, I'll try to finish this list in the fourth segment of tomorrow's class or next Monday. In the meantime, study, listen to English, and enjoy English sin angustiarse. Thank you.